We were certainly not prepared for what was coming next, that's for sure.
Yeah, we never, ever thought that he would be violent. The police should have done more in that situation, and had they, we believe that Mr. Bennett would be alive.
My mental illness developed. It wasn't all of the sudden, and it wasn't from the beginning of my life.
He was a pretty rambunctious kid. He kept us on our toes. He played football from, second grade on. He was an altar boy. He was mayor for the day. He made a declaration, June 6th would be chocolate pudding day. He had done a lemonade fundraiser for a boy that we saw on the news that needed a heart transplant. And then he got very involved in the Boys and Girls Club.
It was a cold, rainy night when my mom said, "Grab your umbrella, we're going somewhere special."
He was so poised. He was a sophomore in high school. I believed then he was going to be a senator or a president. I really believed that politics was in his future. He turned 21 in June. That May, our daughter was graduating, and we noticed some things then, just really irritable. A few weeks later is when he came in and was like, "They're following me," and we just thought he hadn't slept in a long time. And then later on that afternoon, he called me and said he needed to meet me at the AT&T store. And I said, "Why? What's going on?" And he had thrown his phone down the storm drain because he believed that he was bugged. And that's when we said, "We need to take you to a hospital." Dr. Rosen, pretty early on, said this is schizophrenia. You can take your medicine and live a somewhat normal life, or you cannot take your medicine, John, and you will either wind up in jail or dead.
We were certainly not prepared for what was coming next, that's for sure.
Yeah, we never, ever thought that he would be violent.
What is the address of the emergency? Can you tell me exactly what happened?
There's a man outside that keeps starting a bike and just being really, really obnoxious. So I walked outside and threw a knife in his face.
Okay, did you hit him with the knife?
Yeah, he tried to entrap me inside of my apartment.
Do you know if he needs an ambulance?
I don't fucking care if he needs an ambulance.
Okay, well, you threw a knife at somebody. Where's the knife now?
I threw it. I stabbed him in his face and I threw it. It didn't kill him.
They could have had him committed for that, and he could have been in the hospital, and he could have been on medication for 2 months. The police should have done more in that situation, and had they, we believe that Mr. Bennett would be alive.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
The emergency happened at the Portland Art Museum.
Okay, is it happening right now?
No, I witnessed an indecent exposure.
How long ago?
About 3 minutes ago.
Okay, and so in front of the Portland Art Museum, somebody flashed you?
Somebody decided to whip out their penis and urinate in front of me.
Okay, and where are they now?
I stabbed them in front of it.
Okay, why'd you do that?
Because they whipped out the penis. I didn't have time to call the police. I felt threatened. I had a knife on me.
And, all right, is he still in front of the location?
I believe so. I'm so frazzled by the absolute bewilderness, that came over me during this trip. I feel kind of nervous going to my home So I wouldn't protest if I were to be arrested.
Okay, well, I appreciate that sentiment. At this point, we're just going to go out there and see what we find.
The one blessing that came out of the trial was that we were able to meet the victim's father and his stepmother and was able to apologize to them and build a rapport with them. And that was a blessing, and his brother. His mother was out of state.
Jonathan was my firstborn. He was an absolute joy in my life. This acts of violence against Sean is heinous, cruel, and unforgivable.
My son John used to be loving, kind, generous, funny, adventurous, and he gave the world's best hugs. Unlike Mr. Grall's parents, I will not have the privilege to visit and connect with my son John because he is dead. I only have a tombstone. A lifetime of grief. Jonathan David Bennett. Say his name, because that's all I have left.
Now we knew who was impacted by this, which made it even more difficult. I mean, I had always and always will feel so much remorse. And that's why I had made a statement at court that I would fight to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
I take the onus for not taking responsibility from the very beginning for my illness. Just like any illness, it's something that an adult should treat, and I wasn't doing that from the beginning.
There's an error in the system where they need to be getting the help before they go to jail. I believe that if we had more psychiatric beds available where people can be held long-term, can be stabilized on medication, we would not need as many jail cells as we have.
I now have a written out plan for a wellness check and steps to be pursued if I experience that again. One of which is making sure that I'm on my medication.
As we were there, my mom pointed out Mrs. Bidwell, the mother of the 3 boys, and I walked over and thanked her for that amazing gift.
That night at the Portland Art Museum was an amazing night for John to thank a mother who had donated a center to the city of Camas in honor of her boys. And John understood that. He really got that. It's just heartbreaking that it's at the same place because I look at the art museum and have such fond memories of that night, but now it's just so much sadness. But then while I was watching the video of that night, the other night, John called and he had said, well, that's interesting. You know what I did today? We had a PAC meeting. They have a meeting with the CEO and with people, and John was asked to represent. He had said, yeah, so I was doing some public speaking again. It did kind of give me hope that maybe at some point he'll be the one sharing his story.
The kids need the Jackal and Rob Boys and Girls Club. I need the Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.